Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue au podcast de la chaise bleue, le podcast qui s'adresse aux leaders de la transformation des entreprises à l'ère du numérique. We are currently live from the trade show All In, downtown in Montreal, which is one of the biggest trade show or the biggest trade show for AI in Canada. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank to our host for the spot we have here, our partner for the show, Millie.ai. And I have the pleasure to have with me a great friend, Salvatore, from AIoT Canada. I think the acronym AIoT, you invented it to me. You were the inventor that we had AIoT for this acronym up to me in my own world. And thank you very much, Walter, to be sitting down with us at this during this podcast.
La chaise bleue est une idée originale de GLM Conseil. Cet épisode vous est offert par Millie.ai.
So far, we've met you and received you already, Salvatore. So I'm going to speak with Walter first. Walter, just before going in, maybe all in the trade shows, what you guys have seen today, I want to discuss as well about AIoT Canada. The goal, the mission of this organization. But first thing first, I'd like to get to know you a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Walter, a little bit of your background, where you come from and what comes you, and what was the path that brought you to be the president of AIoT Canada eventually?
Okay, great. So I spent a lot of time in the telecom industry. Nortel, Ericsson,
Okay.
and a few other ones.
You saw the famous Nortel story in,
Yes, I
at the
know
time
all about that. I was the both the beneficiary and the victim of that.
as well.
Exactly. Anyway, product management, hardware, software design, commercial management, that kind of thing. So of course, when Nortel went
Sure.
gone, I went to Ericsson, and then after Ericsson, I came out and started consulting in commercialization, economic studies, and ecosystem studies like that. But I
Of
saw
our tech.
of tech, yeah.
Yep.
But I saw that IoT, Internet of Things, was up and coming, right? Like, how do you take advantage of digital technologies and control the world, the physical things and spaces, right?
Yep.
So I formed my own company, Praxium, and through that,
What year approximately are
that
we
was
on?
about 2013, 14.
Okay,
that
perfect.
time. And so through that, I met Sal and a few other people. At that time, I think we were IIoT Canada instead of AIoT Canada.
Okay.
And we got to know each other, and I started participating.
Share some goals, some common value, and so on.
That's
Yeah.
right. And then I had my own podcast, by the way,
Really?
on IoT.
Nice.
It was called Things Happen.
Things that do you still run it?
No, because I'm so involved with the AIoT Canada, I don't. But anyway,
There's a
bottom
lot
line is-
of time, yeah.
Bottom line is they invited me to come on board.
Yep.
And then, a couple of years later, I became the president of AIoT Canada.
And you still run the consulting company
Oh,
as
yes,
well,
I
of
do.
course.
Yes.
Because we all need bread and butter on the table,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
We have our personal mission and help to something, but other. So you run this consulting company and being there at the same time.
That's right, yeah.
And curious, what's the name of the consulting company?
It's called Praxium.
Praxium.
Yeah.
And do you still pursue the same kind of value to bring your knowledge up to these companies that want to bring tech in the world and,
Yes,
and so on?
Absolutely. So I help with commercialization.
Perfect.
I've done some ecosystem study for the government of Canada.
Okay.
I've done some network blueprints and things like that. So
Okay.
all of my past experience in telecom and internet, etc., it's all applied.
It's all applied there to the benefits to mainly startup, or it's usually
It's
bigger?
across the board.
Okay, across the board. Could be
Yes.
a big company that have idea for a new product and work
That's
with
right.
you for this these advice, or maybe start. I like to work with startup from time to time. It get me on my toe and it gets me, up to speed, and I see the flame in their eyes and so
Yeah,
on.
right.
It's one of the reasons why I'm sitting here with Millie. They are no longer a startup after I think 6 years approximately, but still I can sense it. So now, being at AIoT Canada, can you guys give me the mission or the goal of this organization? Who's part of it, and What's the mission? What's unite you to towards something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to speak with Walter. Sal,
Walter is the president now.
Yeah.
So we're an industry association. And so our mission is to bring an ecosystem together,
Yep.
to advocate for them in national policies where needed, to foster cross-pollination, interaction between each other so they can form partnerships for innovation, and also obviously to customers and providers to find each other. So we have a chart that's like
You want to do kind of a meshing between providers and customer of AIoT
that's one of the
needs
things, yes.
As well.
as well. Okay, amongst the other thing like advocate and looking at regulation and so on. Who are your members right now? Are they service provider to the industry or the manufacturer?
So we actually have a little circle that describes that. So it's 7 kind of categories. So it's AIoT providers or innovators,
Okay.
and adopters, innovators, funders like investors, academia, and we are definitely trying to attract the government as well. And of
Sure.
course, service provider, professional services provider, like consultants and legal and so on.
And that could actually include financial institutions,
Okay.
legal firms. As you can imagine, even in tech, you also have, when you have a startup, they need financing.
IT property.
IP properties.
IP property, yeah.
So all that, that's why our members are valued. And some of them are actually here in this show, and so some of them they work in AI only, some of them in IoT, some of them now it's in AIoT. And you mentioned that I introduced you to the term. Of course, I didn't invent it.
I know that. I know.
But when we started, I think I mentioned that to you, Nicolas. When we started, you could Google AIoT, you couldn't find anything. Now we have AIoT everywhere.
Yep.
Because AI and IoT actually makes a much more sense. It's actually more than the sum of its parts. So it makes absolute sense. And this we see that not just in Canada, but even at the international stage. As a matter of fact, we have, and maybe Walter can mention more of that, but we have signed MOUs with the AIoT Africa. We have signed an MOU with the Italy organization. We just signed one in China with the World AIoT Innovation Alliance.
And they are called AIoT organization
And
all across the world like that? Amazing.
AIoT Africa, they modeled their association to ours. They actually took our, with our blessing.
No, of course, yeah.
They didn't copy just like that, but because we know them and we understand that's the vision, that's the, how should I say, the mission that we look. And going back to what Walter said, you notice probably that AIoT Canada is also a labor law. We really want to make sure that technology that is almost an approach as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
It's across the board. Everything can sit on top of that. I often say how much AIoT technologies can help just healthcare. Just healthcare, that how much it costs.
Definitely.
Healthcare, I think AIoT could actually lighten the burden, the cost of all that, because with the technologies, and that's one of the domains of applications.
Education, manufacturing, social service,
home care,
absolutely.
And of course, wearable, it's something that really can help society. I understand that AI can be a double-edged sword.
Yep.
We do have these difficulty.
Duality between is it wrong, right? Where is it going, and so
There
far.
is so much good that can come out of it.
I'm a positive person. I wake up in the morning smiling while the sun is rising, so I'm sure it's going to be great. But one of the things I hear today at All In, we had Joshua Bengio
Yes.
doing his speech, and it shocked me a little bit. And he said that he basically he dedicate most of his time now to different things, not the development of AI, but the rules that need to govern development of AI, so
Yes.
it could stay on the good side. Because he said we have done different experiments to see if AI would save itself or would save human, and the result was not 100% concluent so far. But I'm sure this will be very, very great. And about what you were saying, even in healthcare, the first example you brought, I believe that the aim or the goal we should have in terms of productivity should not be 5-10%. It could be 30, 40, sometimes even huge impact on the quality of life, especially in this sector, which are crucial. But even I work a lot in manufacturing, for sure, and I see the impact in manufacturer being huge for AIoT project and so on. And I fully agree that both, to me, it's like the IIoT, usually the Industrial Internet of Things, which is more of a now a legacy.
No, it's part of it.
It's still part of it.
Yes.
It's like the AI could be embedded in the IIoT product itself, and it could get connected. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, AIoT is a much broader term than IIoT. I mean,
Sure.
IoT, if you look at the acronym itself, it's industrial IoT. Right? But AIoT as a term, it's an umbrella for all kinds of things, industrial, agriculture, as we discussed, health, right? And so I truly agree with you that AIoT is infused into IIoT, and effectively AI is everywhere, right?
Sure.
Anywhere that you have data, you create value out of it through getting insights from it. And AI plays a big part of it. And the difference between the broad AI and AIoT, this conference is very good. It's the broad AI, right? But if you look at IoT, it's specifically all about digitalizing physical things and spaces.
Okay.
Right? When people talk about digital transformation AI, what they typically
There is different field of AI, but this one is to get the physical world.
Yes, but what they typically talk about is, the data generated by humans, clicks, scrolls, swipes, the social media, and that's great. But AIoT talks about getting data from the physical world, controlling the world. And security there is even more important.
Absolutely.
Because you're not just jeopardizing privacy or some mental social thing. You are jeopardizing your physical body,
Absolutely.
and so it's very even more critical there.
Especially when you start using AI to automate, which is still a lot of people are very hesitant with that, because if we allow AI to make decisions,
Which is the
That's it.
agentic. Everybody's talking about that.
It's one thing.
Since 1 year, it's all we hear about.
yeah, but look at full driving, self-driving cars.
Sure.
I mean, it's taking decisions to stop or not at a crossroad, right?
Sure.
That if you make a mistake there, you can actually kill somebody. So this is where we have a lot of issues. Do we let AI make decisions without a human?
Up to a certain point, where does it stop? And
And can you trick AI? AI is still a baby, right? You can trick it. I think that's why Mr. Benjo is working on right now, because he knows that the cat is out of the bag. It's a Pandora vase that has been opened.
yep.
And so, what do we do with this? It's a beast now that is out in the world.
It cannot be ignored.
Cannot be ignored. That's it. but how can we tame it? Now, the big issue with, and I'm sure Mr. Bencher thinks about that all the time, probably doesn't sleep at night with that, is that he's trying to work to put some measures of control.
Yep.
But let's say that we do that. Is another country, I don't want to name names.
No, don't, mate. I know exactly what you're talking about. So.
Or forget countries, a corporation.
Yeah. Even
can
harder,
decide-
almost.
Can decide to use AI for their own purposes, and don't put those control measures. And AI also is being used also to control. But then that we're going to end up to manipulate people. But then we end up with the pure AI. I know that we're talking about AIoT, so we need to talk about AI integrated with the
Physical world.
physical world, the connected object, digital twins, and so
Yep.
on. You know.
Absolutely, and it is so broad, even in the spectrum of the physical world. You know, I was talking with a guy. He said that now we have digital twins of human.
Yes.
And it's totally crazy, and they can help doctor to medication of prescription before the human take the pills and adjust the medication. The digital twin can be used, and in a matter of 2 minutes can say the exact amount of this product is this. Go ahead.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. As far as I'm concerned, I think I mentioned to you before, I'm getting to a certain age where I know that the demographics will be against me, in the sense that there will be more of our age
Absolutely.
and less people that may have to take care of me.
Yep.
I think technology can help. So, especially, that's why I mentioned home care as well. Healthcare and home care is two different beasts. So I would like to have a digital twin of myself, not intrusive, not necessarily intrusive,
Sure.
but the people that are taking care of me, let's say somebody that comes home every once a week,
Yep.
that person knows if I've been feeling well or good or bad, if I've been coughing all night, if I've been tossing and turning in my bed.
Yep.
If I get up from my bed during the night and then I don't come back because I fell, all that. We have technology today. We have technology today. We need solutions now.
Absolutely.
To integrate all that.
So you want to push that in the market so we can see more and more of that in a good way, though.
Yes, that's right.
Yes,
Absolutely.
That's the good way. That's the good way. Then there is some bad way.
So,
But it's
but it's always going to be there, and it's almost
That's so.
it's mission impossible to erase that. It's for the good to exist, some of the bad need to exist as well, I guess. So it makes it good.
Yeah, there's
but
always a balance, right?
yeah, exactly. And a question for you guys: you travel a lot, and internationally speaking. If I compare Canada, I don't travel as much as you guys do and see other stuff, but a little bit, quite often, with other cluster and so on. How would you compare Canada right now in terms of adoption of these technology, how secure it is, and then on innovation side? Adoption, security level, and innovation out of it. Where do we rank? Are we
I
up?
have my idea. Go ahead.
I'll answer part of
Are
it.
we up in the sky
Yeah, so-
or feeling something in the basement there?
So technologically, we're up there.
Okay.
Very good. Okay. In terms of adoption, I think that's where we lack. In terms of
Below average, or
A bit below I think we're a bit below average.
okay?
So in terms of Canadian companies, especially some of the smaller ones, adopting IoT and AI for productivity, for other reasons.
Digital twins for
Exactly.
simulating production and
Yes. So we're behind that, and this is part of the reason that we exist. As I mentioned it earlier, is to bring adopters and innovators and providers together to help them cross-pollinate and adopt AIoT technologies. And the whole point, ultimately, if you look at why we exist, it's exactly to answer this question that you asked, is to make sure that Canada stays at the forefront, that our productivity rises, as a result, leveraging the AIoT technology. So I would say technologically we're good, adoption we're behind,
Security?
Well, let's put it this way. Maybe one of the reasons why the adoption is lower is because probably Canadians are a little bit more, how should I say, cautious. And that's why security is important. That's why that's an opportunity here, I think, that Canada can really work on the cybersecurity or security, let's just say security, of all this, so that we can, how should I say, we can tell the adopters, the companies to be, that they're safe.
And we are trusted.
So that we can be trusted.
Okay.
And that's very difficult at the moment with all the stories and and some cowboys in this fields that they do stuff without thinking about the security built into the security.
I agree, and that's Canada looking at itself in that way, adopting. However, Canada has an advantage in pushing our technology outwards. I did a few projects for the government, did a bunch of interviews with companies, what are you doing, where are you selling, etc. And I didn't even ask this question, and we talked about security, and they said, Canada has a bit of an advantage in getting the foot in the door because Canada, outside of technology, is a trusted country, and that kind of translates into getting that foot in the door and be able to show our, technology, our security.
So we can have an edge there.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have a good reputation.
Sure.
Not necessarily, it's not stemming from technology, but as a country, as a society. So that translates into that technological sphere.
I really like what I hear because in my mind, your product is as good as it is secure. You can have the best technology in the world. If it's not cyber secure and so on, the quality will be there anyway. So that's one of the halves us Canadians can have over, other nations. And it's really, really good. Now I do understand the mission even better. All of these manufacturer business owner that are looking at us right now, and they are all feeling like, yes, we need technology. Yes, we need to increase our productivity. The workforce should be at the right place, not doing, all these repetitive manual tasks and so on. What can they do in order to help AI for M mission? Is there anything, the people listening to us can do to bring value to this mission you have?
Yeah, so it's a much broader problem than just the manufacturers industry.
I understand, but the audience is mainly manufacturer. This is why I put it this way. It's one of the field, let's say.
And it's a very vast field. It's a vast field. So
plastic, chip, electronic chip, woods. It's very, very broad. But I think this mission is really important. What you guys are working on. But sometimes people listen and they said, "What can I do?"
Well, I was going to say that one other thing. I was going to finish my statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, they can definitely come into the fold with AIoT Canada, the industry association.
Okay.
Because our mission is to bring people together so they can collaborate, so they can
make business.
Be more efficient by collaborating and have international exposure, which we have MOUs with other things. So that's one of the things they can do.
Okay.
And the other thing is, there needs to be a bridge between industry and government. There's a lot of emphasis being put here on government pushing AI,
sure,
enabling AI. I think the same kind of a thing has to be done for AIoT, but it has to be driven upward from the industry to indicate to government what their special needs are, and that's where we come in.
Don't wait for the spark being done on the government level, and then it can bring from the industry itself.
We still need the government, because with all the issues that we talked before about being cautious and being a bit fearful of AI and so on. We do need that direction from the government, so that things are being done to maintain the leading edge that we've been having in AI in particular, not necessarily in manufacturing. We're not that strong in Canada, but we do have. And that's part of what we're trying to do, to advise the government as well from the industry point of view. That's why our members are mostly solution providers, makers of these solutions. So we have to tell the government, they have good people, technology people, but the lawmakers are not. So they need to have counseling in that sense. And that's why we do, sorry if I plug this in, last year we already had our first AIoT summit. As a matter of fact, last year was very successful. We had the Minister Champagne with us. That was great. So
It happened in Ottawa?
It happened in Ottawa. And we're doing the same thing next week on October 2nd. And we're going to have several members of parliament or people that from the government, but also many from the industry. As a matter of fact, next week is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be the full half a day with the supper, and there's going to be panels. There's going to be a roundtable, and there will be speeches, of course, keynote speeches, a fireside chat with Jen Assad, the Honorable Jen Assad. So we're going to have that. And there's another thing that I want to say. We're coming out because Desjardins also has been a sponsor of the summit, and Desjardins has the
Technology, yeah.
That you know very well because they're so involved in technologies.
Hello,
like
Samir.
this.
Hello, Lupin.
Samir.
Hello, Lupin. Which
we love you guys. And as a matter of fact, we will launch with them a report that we have created, and we will
publish that and
publish and update every year. As a matter of fact, Walter and David Durand have been co-authors on that. If you want to talk a little bit more about it. This is a very important report. This is something that can advise governments
for the direction for the next law to come and the investment, the budgeting, and so on.
And the
I want
report
to hear
goes
you.
into kind of the basics about what is AI, IoT,
Sure.
but then more about where it's applied and how it interlaces with other ecosystems and recommendations for the government, what they should do and what the industry should do, in answer to your question, right?
Yeah.
To leverage AIoT for Canadian growth and productivity. So it's like 37 pages. So you want all the details that we can't cover here, that's the place to go.
We will have to get both of you guys back on La Chaise Bleue to do the executive summary of that report. A special edition just for that. It's too bad. We will not, unfortunately, be there next week. But
I know that you're busy on something else, which is very important too.
But we will get back in touch and have the news later on for sure. Two other questions, being here at Holland at the trade show here, what was the thing you saw today, talking about all these people that did not take the time to pass the day? Is there anything new that stood up that you saw, any booth, conference, or any, not revelation, but what was the highlight of your day here today at Holland so far?
Okay, so I definitely listened to Minister Solomon's thing, and there's one term that he threw out, pilotism.
Okay.
No, pilotitis or something like that. And what he was referring to, I never heard this before. I think he made it up.
Neither do I.
So basically, what he's saying, there are way too many AI pilots that die. Okay, and so what we need to do is make sure those pilots launch, even if it's not perfect. So we must get away from this pilotitis.
Okay.
So that's a very interesting concept, kind of a general term for all of industry, but for AI, I think that's absolutely right. The other thing, although I knew about it, I'm happy to see that there's presentation on agriculture and AI. And in those presentations, they were definitely AIoT, a lot of them. Because,
course, that's
because they take physical data from the soil or whatever it is, and you apply it. That's IoT, even if they don't name it as IoT.
This, it's a blast to hear these people. I was doing a podcast, I think it was with Optonic Photonic in Quebec here, which is kind of a cluster for all of the light, the different rayons. I don't know how to say X-ray and gamma and so on, blah, blah, blah. And one company were telling me, they have AIoT, but what they are doing is they are putting lights into a new plants. And the lights reflect the amount of protein, if it's the pH is too high and so on, and they can adapt the les engrais, the food they're gonna give to the plant up to what they were reading as the property. Totally crazy, this field of business. On your hand, Salvador, any?
Well, I plan to do a little bit more of a stopping at different booths tomorrow, but. Some of the stuff that Walter already mentioned, but I want to give a shout out to one of our members that actually invited us today, which is M2M Tech, and they actually create training, AI training for companies and so on, among other things. So I just wanted to say shout out to them. But you mentioned some of the examples that you were saying, wow, they're using AI for this, okay, or for somebody that gets bacteria, salmonella and stuff like that, and detect that very quickly. I mentioned to you that I was in China 2 weeks ago.
Correct, yep.
Now
I saw it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but the thing is, talking about how can we maintain that at least being in the first 10, I don't know, countries in the world.
In terms of adoption and really creating value with it.
And also innovation. China is going so fast. It's a real tiger. You say the Chinese tiger, the dragon. I mean, they go fast. One of the things that, one kiosk there, they put headphones on me, and with the sound waves. It took about 5 minutes. And then he came out with a huge report on the prediction. We did that for my brain and my heart. And they say, okay, these are some of the indicators, that you can have osteoporosis or you can have cardiac problems. And of course, he came up with say, you have to be careful with your liver. And indeed, and he came up with points on my shoulder, and he didn't come up with points on this shoulder, which I do have problems. So I don't know what they did, what they do with those notes, but for sure they used AI. It might be bullshit, I don't know, but at the same time, sorry, can I use bullshit?
Yeah, you can, absolutely. And
they come up with the report was huge. They just stopped at the
and made sense to you while reading it.
Some of that made sense. I'm telling you, even the liver, I do.
That is far.
Even I believe in acupuncture, and some of it's not supernatural. It's very scientific, but it's empirical though. And liver has always been something that, in my case, for my health, I have to be careful about.
Yeah.
And she mentioned liver, so what do I have to think about it?
See,
I don't know.
Totally crazy. So you're with all of these examples. China is going much faster than we do right now.
That's the thing.
So
yes.
I
and
guess
they're being innovative. That's the difference.
I'm sorry. Repeat that.
Innovative. They're being creative.
They are being creative.
China used to
It's
be...
no longer a copywriting country there.
Exactly.
Innovation is there.
There is innovation.
What can we do differently to get back in that race?
Definitely not in manufacturing, I'm sorry to say.
It's okay. Okay, because...
but we're good, the services, we're good. Listen, I can
okay,
say one
I understand why you're saying that, okay.
I can say that they suck at They suck at user experience. interface, user interface.
Yeah.
They're not good at it.
The
I think
UX
we are.
there, the look
UI,
and
the
feel,
UI,
the
yeah.
human experience
Yeah,
out of
I don't
it.
think they're good at it yet.
They are efficient though. Productivity, you know.
They produce
Boom, boom,
like
boom, boom,
crazy.
boom.
So, but Canada can be
Select some sector where we can be much better. Don't compete on every field.
that I think we have to do.
Okay.
You know, I actually don't think the problem that you describe or question, how can we be better, is actually a business or a technology question. I think it's a cultural question. I think that culturally, we don't go out and promote ourselves. We're not as bold. That's one thing,
I like to do that.
right? So
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
exactly. And so I think there requires a cultural change, but also there's a new need to do that, to become technologically sovereign. So, you know, all of this churn in the world, etc., I think is also helping to bolster that sense of sovereignty, etc. But that has to come all the way across from government, technology, and the citizens. Right? So that's the challenge, as opposed to are we technologically good or do we have the businesses?
It does make sense. Last question: is there anything? This is my police question, inspector question. I mean, is there anything we did not discuss we should have? Any question I did not come up with and we should have talked about? Because we have turned the wheel a lot. I think it's a good turn of the wheel there. We've done
You know what? As soon as we turn off this, we're gonna think about it and we're gonna do another appointment.
very
I
good.
actually have a concluding thought. Okay?
Go ahead.
So all of this AI around here, it's all great. We need to do it. There's lots of talk about government and industry about digital transformation. Absolutely. The new economies are going to be digital. But we live in a physical world. Okay? Most of our industry are physical. Agriculture, resource, manufacturing, right? And so we can't forget that. And what's actually really needed is to marry the digital with the physical. Okay, so you got to be good in both of them, and the marriage of them will yield many more benefits than if you just separate them.
I think out of this word of wisdom, I'll say thank you very much, guys, for showing up on the podcast La Pleasure. It was a pleasure, guys. Have a good show.
Cet épisode de La Chaise Bleue vous a été présenté par GLM Conseil, acolyte de la transformation dans votre entreprise à l'ère du numérique.